Welcome to the AK Roundtable. Excited to have each and every one of you on here. And for all of you listeners too that listen to it on your morning drives or midday drives or weekends or whatever it is, thank you for tuning in. This does stream onto a podcast, so it's fun to push out the golden nuggets. I know that there's a lot of people that give really great feedback about the roundtables and how it's really helped them. So the mission is really just to work together and pay it forward and answer questions, guys. Keep a good spirit of unity and collaboration and continue to build the community. So I appreciate everyone being on here. Super grateful. Geraldo, good to see you. Porter, good to see you on, man. It's been a minute. Guys, down at the very bottom, you're going to see that there's a chat window that you can chat with the whole team, or you can actually select on a drop-down menu if you want to chat individually with a particular person on here. I also want to mention that there's a reactions button. I believe it's a heart shape on there. Is it a heart shape? Is that what you're all seeing? I think it's different on mobile, but heart shape, if you go to that, you can raise your hand, give a thumbs up, whatever emojis you feel like dropping in. And then one last request, guys. Attached to your name, you should be able to change your name. I do this because there's a lot of, you can see Gabe's done a great job there. You see Gabe's, he's got it followed by his email address. You'll notice that I'm going to do the same, and I will pop my email address in. You guys are always welcome to shoot me an email at any point in time. I'm here to help as much as I can or connect the dots with stuff that I don't know. Cool thing is I kind of know the industry. My wife says better than I should, but like literally from the time I was 18 years old till now. So there's, if you guys email me, I probably have an answer, but again, if I don't, I'll connect the dots. I know some pretty cool people in the industry. And then, yeah, change your name to your name and followed by your email address. That helps to build the network. And if you guys happen to meet somebody in your state, or you happen to have somebody out of state, where you might have a job or a lead that comes in, it's cool to be able to share that amongst the network as well. I'm not a huge believer in sabotaging competition. I'm a big believer in figuring out how we can all be working together to progress and improve the industry, to make it more attractive to property owners, facility managers, property managers, as well as new hires, right? I think all of us, we'd probably raise our hand if I asked the question. We want this industry to be respected, and it's up to us to build that. Would you guys agree? I think we'd agree. Yeah. Which means that we have to operate with integrity, and that's a really cool core value that should be considered when you guys are building your business. Integrity is a really important thing. I often see guys showing up on jobs and then they cut some corners and they leave quickly and leave piles of dirt at each side of the driveway or each side of the parking lot. You guys, you ever see that? You ever see where somebody goes to clean off a lot or something and just pushes the dirt out on the road and it's blowing all out in the street? You ever see that? Raise your hand if you've ever seen that by someone out there. Yeah, I've seen it a whole bunch. So operate in the mindset of leaving a job site more clean than when you arrived. And that will help to create remarkable experiences for your customers. Really important thing. Cool. As we go into our night, our one word that we'll remember here is integrity. So that's our word of the night, integrity. And of course, I've got Mr. Matthias Rossen on here, my co-host. Appreciate you being here every night, brother. You couldn't do it without you, man, and appreciate you. So, guys, let's get this thing started. Any wins that you guys have that you want to share about over the last week since the last roundtable? And for those of you that may have not been on the roundtable last week, what are some of the big wins that you want to share or celebrate? And it may not just be wins, but it may be tied to a win, a strategy, something that you may have learned, something that you're doing that you have found to be a game changer. And maybe you want to share a little bit of that secret sauce here in this community, so that we can, again, continue to better it. Is there any wins that you guys have? Just raise your hand. We don't have a whole, we've got, I believe we're a total of 13 people on here right now, so you can feel free to just raise your hand directly. Any wins? Gabe, you have any wins since last week, man? Any wins that you've got going on?
Yeah, actually I do.
Cool.
I have assembled a sales team and we're starting this coming Monday. to
Amazing.
actually put out 250 calls a week is our goal. So
So on those calls, just to clarify, are you going to be using the sales strategies that you learned in that sales power stack? Are you going to be booking pavement assessment appointments? Is that what you're going to be doing?
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Good
So
for you.
yeah, the plan is I'm gonna take next week off from my day job and it's gonna role play like this is my full-time gig. And hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm gonna actually step away from my job. So you guys pray for me, man. And I'm gonna need some help and some, guidance, and definitely gonna need some some words of encouragement. So appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you. I know Michael Winley just came off mute, so he's probably got some words of encouragement right there. Go ahead, Michael. Let's do it. If you
Hey,
can hear
Gabe, I
us.
just want to encourage you, man. Can you hear me? I'm on my iPhone, y'all, so I can't see. Hey, Gabe, I want you to know, man, we're gonna be praying for you. We're gonna be wanting to encourage you. And I don't know if you got access to, and I'm pretty sure you do if you've been through some of the coaching. But Kelly, the AI agent, you can talk to her. You can actually ask her and say, "Hey, act like you're in a hurry and you really don't want to talk to me." I mean, you can set up like all kinds of different scenarios and get real comfortable. You can say, "Make it easier or make it harder." Make it harder. Make it where I can't get to that person, and you can keep pressing in, and man, you can practice that script over and over and have different results where you're comfortable doing that. And I just want to encourage you, man, if you step out there and you go in there and you go to knocking on doors, even listen, don't expect to hear yes right off rip. Just get out there and practice. Man, I heard no 100 times. But you know what? I started learning how to speak the language. I started talking to people. I started learning how to read them and how to speak into the situation. So you ain't gonna have it all figured out in 1 week, 1 day. But I just want to encourage you also because you know from your other job, man, and that's a life changer right there. When you start having the freedom of your own business and to be working on this in the background, because that's kind of what I did. And now this year, I'm just totally doing this. So we're gonna be lifting you up in prayer, man. Keep pressing in, keep doing what the coaching's telling you. It works.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that. You don't know how much.
Yes, sir.
Gabe, I also want to mention, just for those of you that are unaware of this, in case you didn't know, and Gabe, I'm not sure if you know this, but as AK Dash, you're AK Dash King Boss, I believe. And so you have access to an AI role practicing agent where I've pre-programmed that AI calling agent to answer that call as though they're a facility manager. And you're going to literally, she's going to ask you exactly what kind of customer she is going to be for you, storage facility, car dealership, or whatever it is. You follow through with the questions that she's asking and make sure that you're answering those questions. And what that's going to do is build up the role practicing scenario so that you will literally go into a ring in environment where it's literally a role practice. And that role practice, man, you've got to be able to book that pavement assessment with her. And if you find it's too easy for you to book, you can tell her the next time. You could just keep rolling back to back calls. You could say, hey, listen, like Michael said, be harder on me. Don't let me book it. Come up with objections. Say no to me. And then she'll go back into it. Ring, ring, ring. Hi, you've reached Kelly with Extra Space Storage or whatever it is, right? So just make sure that you take advantage of that. And the reason why is she's going to give you some constructive criticism and score you at the end as well, give you some feedback. And that's some pretty cool stuff, guys. So, back in the day, it was like our coaches needed to practice with you guys independently. But now you actually have the ability to role practice at any point from your truck, your car, from your cell phone, and just role practice, call in on that number and speak with that AI agent. So it's a really powerful thing. I don't know. Has anybody ever played golf or any sports here? Raise your hand if you've ever done that or ever shot a rifle. Raise your hand if you've ever. All right, cool. Would you all agree that these kind of things require practice to become really good at? business and sales is the same thing, guys. You gotta practice it, man. Because if we're just practicing sealing cracks and seal coating driveways and parking lots and stripes, and we're just practicing that, but we're not practicing the sales engagements that we have with the different kinds of customers that we want to be closing, then we might not be as sharp, which means we're not going to close as many deals, right? We may not close as many deals. And so if you're speaking to somebody who's responsible for a school district, that role practice is going to be different than Kelly at the storage facility. Do you follow what I mean there, guys? That practicing is different. The questions you ask are different. Car dealership might be more interested in the aesthetic appearance of their lots. A school district or a hospital, maybe a little bit more about safety, right? So just make sure you're practicing, guys. And if any of you guys want access to that number too, reach out to Dylan Malone. Dylan Malone's on here right now. I know he's going to, by the way, he's got a big win to share, man. Dylan Malone, come on Spotlight, brother. Dylan Malone, he's the AK Dash superstar. Check this out. Watch this, guys. He's going to tell you about his win.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? My win for this week is way back in, I think, February or March at one of our AK roundtables. I vocally shared with the team that I was going to be benching 315. That was a goal that I set at the beginning of the year, and I finally hit it just on Monday. So that's my win. Something that I wrote down, something that I tracked and, broke down how I could increase my weight week by week. And it's pretty much something that I learned from Judd as my sales mentor here, how to reverse engineer your goal and, increase by increments. And that's how I ended up crushing the goal. So that's my win.
Congrats, bro. Congrats, man. How cool to accomplish things in your life and to set up the yellow brick road to get it, man. That's awesome. What a cool accomplishment. I know that Skylar used to bench some serious weight too, right, Skylar? Coach Skylar?
Once upon a time.
Now what are you benching? You're benching gold bars and people, brother.
Trying. Parking lots, pieces of blacktop.
Dude, I've watched a bunch of your socials lighting up. What are you guys doing this week? Like, I don't even know. How do you even have time to even take your phone out of your pocket?
One day at a time, bro. 1 minute at a time. Be present at the moment.
It looks like you guys are, hopefully it's good busy, man.
Yeah. We're with some clients right now.
Right now? Like right now?
Not right now, but today, tomorrow, and Friday. So
Cool. Cool.
Through
What's one piece of advice that you'd give the crew right now on the round table, kind of in this, we're July 9th, it's kind of that summertime, and it's reaching kind of, mid-ish point already, right? We're getting into the kind of mid-ish point. And what's your best advice, man?
Sell the jobs, figure out how to get it done later. That's my best advice.
What's your answer to this? Well, I'm having a hard time finding jobs.
I would say either a smarter approach or just more volume, like better or more. Firstly, better, right? Practice the scripts, do the thing, get better on your toes, learn how to speak the language more, be the physician of the pavement. And then once you become that person, it's just a quantity thing then. Like, it's those two things. Either you're good enough to speak the language. Once you're good enough to speak the language, then you just need to speak the language to more people, because it just comes down to the original marble analogy that we've used from day one, where if you put enough marbles in one end of the tube, you shove enough in there, eventually they come out the other side. And just, again, sell the jobs, scale progressively, smartly. Once you can't sell anymore, or find leads enough, right? It's all steps, right? It's easier for me to say jump to another salesman, but it might be like until you're at capacity of calling, door knocking, etc., right? That's probably the first step. once you're at capacity there, then find somebody to do that job, because it's obviously, you know, like a lower paying job where you can get someone on the street, or you can get someone on the phone, or you can get someone, you know, kind of getting leads for you, probably at a cheaper rate than, you know, going to get sales. So just develop that pipeline, close deals, speak to volume. That's it. And don't ever think a project's too big. Sell the project. Back to my original point. Sell the project, whether it's a paving project, whether it's a million square feet of seal coat and, I don't know, 10,000 feet of crack fill. Sell the project. Make sure your numbers are good. Again, don't sell the project and lose money because you're trying to be the cheapest option, but sell the project. And I promise you, there's 100 routes to get it done, whether it be with their performance partner, whether it be in just hiring more crew, whether it's even temporary staff for a day, a project, or whatever. Like, as long as you know what you're doing, you can get some guys out there and get it done.
100%. I know, you know, there's this thing that I say often. I'm just pulling it up here, but I want to show you guys something because I think it's an important takeaway. I found it. Just give me one sec. If you guys do this, if you take your phone, you guys are going to love this. I'm going to repeat it because I've said it a bunch of times, and you may have heard me speak about this. You may have seen a YouTube video on it or on social or something. If you take your phone and send me a screenshot of your calendar, just email it to me, guys. My email address is here. Send it to me. Send me a screenshot of the calendar on your phone, and then do one more thing for me. Show me your sales pipeline with your pavement assessments, numbers that are in the works, as well as the number of quotes that you have out, and I will show you your future. I'll be a fortune teller for you guys. You don't need to send it to me. My point is, guys, please pay very, very close attention, very, very close attention to the time that you have left in your life, and make sure you're actioning activities that are going to drive the real results for you in your life. A lot of us don't have the direction, the guidance, or the yellow brick road to follow in order to actually achieve that. There's always work to be done. No matter how big you've grown in your business, there's always going to be complexities. There's always adversity. There's always challenge, no matter where you are. But we come back to a very important two things: schedule, your calendar, and your pipeline. If you have nothing in your pipeline, I can pretty much tell you you're not going to make much money. And if your calendar is empty, I can tell you that it's even more likely that you're going to make even less money. Do you guys follow my drift on this? Stack your calendars with actionable items with intent that are going to drive the result. And so when I say that, when I hear of Gabe's going to make 250 calls, that's a target, that's a goal. What are the critical drivers that we're going to do to achieve that 250 calls? Every day, how many calls are we going to dial to achieve that 250 call number? But how many people are we planning on connecting with? Because if we don't connect with anybody on those 250 calls and we're unable to speak with anybody, then the chance of us booking a pavement assessment is very slim. So what we need to make sure of is that we understand the metrics around what it is that we're doing so that we can actually drive those results more intensely. You guys follow? Makes sense, right?
I think at this stage too, it's just making the calls. Like, really, if there's anything I can encourage anybody to get off this screen and tomorrow take action on, that probably majority of people at this stage are, is literally just pick up the phone and magic comes out the other side. Like, you know, again, I like in balance, right? You know, it was really interesting. I just recently I had an option to make, right? And it was go to an event with a bunch of people that I knew that were going to be there, or go close a deal at that same time. But on my calendar was the event, and I was already going to the event, and I knew that there was some opportunity and there was some other things going on in that room. But I was like, wait, I can either go talk about the hypotheticals right now, or I can go close this deal and actually do what I'm going to say I'm going to do in that room. Right. And this was just like this week. So, at 7 o'clock at night, I chose to go close the deal. And on the other side of that was, significant outcome. But it's just that, right? It's the action of doing the things that we get on this screen and talk about. We talk about making the calls week after week. We talk about door knocking. We talk about sending flyers. We talk about Facebook ads, right? And it's like, everybody, if they're not doing them, from hearing it over and over, like this is me telling you, start. It is the only way. And it's just volume. And it's okay to suck a little bit in the beginning. It gets polished as long as you show up here and watch YouTube videos and do those other things that just make you get better. Call the AI agent and get better, right? Like, call those people, and then guess what? You're going to do 100 more reps, and you're going to hear an objection maybe that you didn't get from the AI agent yet. Guess what? You're going to learn how to overcome it. And then I'm sure that you can probably prompt the AI agent and be like, hey, give me this objection. I want to overcome it. And guess what? You're going to be able to role play. And next time you're going to be able to overcome it, and you'll get better, and then you'll get jobs. And again, maximize the calendar. 4 a.m., I left Pennsylvania. 7 a.m., landed in Wisconsin, was on a project till 4 p.m. today. And, again, at 7 p.m. last night, I was in Pennsylvania closing a deal. So, like, maximize, schedule, prioritize, get it done.
This guy followed the process. He followed the dang process. Scholar, you know him. You spent time with him. We started him when asphalt was just an idea. This is only going back a couple of years ago. This is second season, guys. Second season. Check this out.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. Music loud, women won't be.
He's got a bunch of them, but that's Jason Morales, M5 paving, guys. He just followed the dang process, guys. That's all he did. And he's going to close out. He'll probably close out around 6 million this year in his second year of business.
I think more.
More? Is it more than that?
Yeah. We were just closer in between 6 and 10. Like, we were just chatting the other day. Like, he's crushing it. A guy that I bounce ideas off of, right? Super smart dude.
Awesome guy too, like filled with energy. But I want you to know, guys, there's no secret. There's no secret to this stuff. Once you know it, once, like, the stuff that we speak about, just transparently, the stuff we speak about here, the process, the FTDPs, the sales tactics, the approach, all of that stuff that we talk about, the way we coach it, like, that stuff is, if you actually just embrace that and go for it, I'm telling you, it works. But it requires that you really, really go at it. Not saying that anybody's not going at it here, but if you're not going at it, it's probably because you have a calendar that doesn't have the proper scheduling in it, and you don't have a pipeline that you've built. That's generally what happens. Raise your hand if you think that you have work to do as it relates to your calendar and maybe your pipeline. We all raise our hands, right? So I think that's a golden nugget, right? So there's the keyword integrity, but calendar, pipeline, just go for it. Any questions, team? We're halfway through the roundtable. Please, any questions that you guys have relating to any of this, I really want to make it as engaging as we can.
I would encourage anybody to, like, I get a ton of emails and stuff and DMs and those type of things. Like, it is so much better saved for this environment where you have a group of other people that can chime in and give perspective too, right? Like, I don't claim to be the guy, right? I've just been able to run my business and I try and share my experience. So you have a bunch of other people in here that have experience in this world that can kind of chime in and maybe also give you another perspective. So, like, really, like, those type of questions and those type of engagements that I get, like, it is so much best served for this time, right? Like, I block this time to do those type of things. So, like, if you want the questions answered, I'm here, and it's easier for me to answer them here and get back to you. And then there's also other people here. So again, if anybody is those people, I would say speak up.
100%. And just to reiterate too, like Skylar's running a multi-million-dollar operation, right? He owns a multi-million-dollar company with crews that are out there operating every single day. He is doing coaching as well, right? So in-field coaching and virtual coaching he does. So that time is very important to him. And again, he blocks this out on the roundtable. This is not a request by me in any way, shape, or form, or by the company. He does this out of the goodness of his heart, and he pays it forward. He's one of those guys. I mean, we happen, this is a wild story, but you know, we're sitting there and we're both looking at each other's forearms, and we both are tattooed with lighthouses on our forearms. And it's like this pay it forward right now is a really important thing. So let's talk, guys. Any questions that might be painful or challenging, or if you need some advice, perspective, let's do this thing. We got 30 minutes to rock and roll. Gabriel, you've got your hand up.
I always do. How are you guys doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Listen, my question is more pertaining to when you have limited resources, if that makes sense. Like when you're kind of bootstrapping at the start. I know with M5 paving, right? If I remember the story, they started last year, you said, I believe in August or maybe 2 years ago, right? And they take I believe I don't forget. I'm not gonna say the number, but I know it's the coaching, the accelerator coaching program, where you guys do the marketing, build everything, do all the coaching calls, sales, everything. But imagine for someone that's
We lost
like
Gabriel.
where we are right now, I
Oh,
would
you're back.
say second year.
You're back.
Can you hear
Keep
me?
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, the connection here is very bad.
Go
I would
ahead.
say second year, but the most important part is, we're kind of going through the steps, like with the cold caller. I'm also talking with Dylan McCann. I want to get up a
Yeah.
coaching with to kind of, get the planning, get more in planning, kind of making that transition that we talked about on the last meeting between the residential to the commercial. But obviously, even if I'm visioning that, right? My question would be, if you're bootstrapping with limited resources, right? Budget wise and these things and time, what would you say is the most important thing to be focusing doing on, right?
I-
If I remember,
I got you. Like 100%. Like you're taking a question that I framed in my mind not but 4 hours ago, and I was gonna share it, and you guys are gonna get it first, and then I'm sure you'll see the Facebook/Instagram post that I'm gonna make. But like I would also caveat that with Judd's point of, okay, you're saying it's bootstrapping. Show me that your calendar reflects bootstrapping, because again, if you are full-time employed, which you're still working like a regular W-2, you're not full-time with this yet. Full-time. This is your only income.
overtime.
Overtime. So on top of your regular job.
No. Like I do
Full-time
this.
only.
This is his business, Skylar. He's 100% asphalt maintenance.
Gotcha.
I do this from when I wake up to I go to sleep.
Got you. So for me, 100%, it would be go back and figure out how to just do more in the beginning and save that money and instantly pour it back in. Because like, I'm going to be real with you. Like my whole frame of that is, it's hard for me to understand that you can't do enough repetition to get to the point to spend that money. Right. And that's what I was going to get at with like the W-2 job. So anybody that has a W-2 job on here, it really hurts my head for you to say that you want this, but you can't work nights and weekends overtime to save up 5 to 10 grand to invest in coaching. Like that's the reality of it, right? Like it really hurts my head for you to say, how do I get to that point? How do I get to that point? Right. And I totally understand, because I get it. I understand the frustrations, right? Where I was, and it was all happening because like, I get to experience so many different environments, right? I'm the equipment guy. Think about, the young high school sports athlete that has the Nike gloves and the Nike shoes and they're all matching. It's hard for me not to be that person in business. It's hard for me not to be that person in life, right? Where I am getting the coach, I am wrapping the truck, I am doing the thing, because I just literally don't want anything else more than that. It's not about the fancy dinners. It's not about the vacations. Like a lot of people say they sacrifice, but go on 5 vacations a year and say, I don't understand why I can't get ahead and I can't invest in a coach. And I'm not saying this is you, but what I am saying is like, it's 100% like, to Judd's point, it's the calendar thing. I have a hard time believing that you're telling me at 6 a.m. to 9, 10 p.m. and you still have not enough income. Like it's a
I
hard
would
thing for me
say,
to grasp.
so I absolutely agree with you. I wouldn't say it's so much the time, it's more the activity, in the sense that, like Judd has talked a lot about the residential hamster wheel, right? Because like like for example, let's say that's what I'm trying to get more into, the commercial, right? You get a property done, with that gives you enough space to go and get more. But I feel like when I'm in the kind of residential hamster wheel with the activities, that takes like I would say it doesn't give me that extra space, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
So frame your setup. How, you got guys working for you or are you subcontracting everything?
I have guys working for me for the seal coating. I subcontract out any asphalt work.
Okay, great. How many projects a day are you completing?
I would say we probably complete about 5, 7 like residential driveways, and then
Everything.
other projects. Usually we do the like, I'll try to get. My goal is trying to at least estimate at least like 20,000, 50,000 per day, and then following up on that as much as possible. But
Okay.
not enough
How,
that
how
I'm
many
not
how many
going.
projects every day? 5 to 7?
Correct.
Okay. What's your overhead every day per day?
What do you mean by overhead, for example?
How much is your operating cost?
Okay, say operating cost would be. I will not be able to tell you operating cost because I don't have the number fixed, but I would say it comes to like about 40%. So
Okay,
I would say
great.
maybe, go ahead. I'm listening.
Great. Okay. So how much is an average day of 5 to 7 driveways?
Around 3,000.
Okay, great. 40% of that, so about say
1,200.
yeah, is gonna go to expenses. Where's the other 18?
Sorry, say that again. Repeat the last part.
If
They're
only
1,800 a day.
yeah, the other 1,800 a day, where is that money?
So then that would be, first of all, any fixed. We've invested a lot now. We're trying to invest in the cold color system. Leads, getting leads. I'm going to get more marketing on that. And then I would say a lot of the rest was going more towards like the initial investment. So, like truck, parking, these kinds of things.
So
That
then
makes
so then 1,200 would be like your variable costs. And then you still have additional fixed costs on top of that.
So here's what I'm going to jump in on right now. You don't understand your true costs, Gabriel, which is Skylar's point. You don't really know what's going on, and that's okay, brother. There's no like what's going on, but you get our drift. Like we should be able to really have a clear snapshot of what's going on in order to actually know that without investing into coaching or doing some kind of a deal with somebody who's been there and done that of some sort, like figuring that out. And you may find somebody that will do it at no cost, but time is valuable, right? Like time is valuable. You're going to find that people, like on the roundtable, you'll learn. But at the end of the day, if you showed us your books, like let's say that Skylar uncovered your P&L and he looked at your cost and your overhead and looked at all the details and looked at the line items and we looked at that and we said, okay, well, where are the financials right now? How is the business operating? What's the structure look like? If you're going to go and invest money into appointment setters right now, I'm concerned that you're going to go and invest money into appointment setters and do it potentially wrong without understanding what we really need to do out of the gate. And so, in the scenario, just going to Jason Morales, I'll just say that coaching and digital marketing setup that we did for him, guys, that's just sub 100K, right? That's a different kind of level that he decided to go into, but he wanted to, he said right out of the gate, I want to make $2 million in my first year. And the next year I want to do $8 to $10 million, which by the way, he's going to do. But the point is he wanted to come in and go at this thing with full blast, full speed here, right? But then there's other people that want to come into this and they don't have the finances to be able to invest at that level and have a team of people working with him to build the business right out of the gate. But there's solutions, there's accelerator programs, there's enterprise level, there's stuff that $1,000 a month. There's stuff that is available to you on an hourly basis. And I think that, Gabriel, that's right now, I don't know that there's an understanding of what this is actually costing you, because this is costing you not doing this sooner. If you're in this 100%, you want to build the crap out of a pavement asset management company, because there's also, and I'm going to call it out because this straight out, there's a lot of the same things that you're saying. Like in roundtables, time and time again, it's been a year, almost the same things that are being repeated. And I'm saying to you, what is your time worth?
And Gabriel, that wasn't me being abrasive either and putting you on the spot. That's literally me trying to solve the problem, right? Like,
yeah.
This is 100% how my head works. And if we would have kept going, like that would have, Judd took the words out of my mouth, basically. Okay, great. You don't truly understand your underlying costs and true profitability. Let's figure out that first, because you can't tell me you don't have money. You could be pissing it away somewhere. We got to figure out where that is, right? And then I can say, hey, maybe this isn't quite the right area we should be spending it. Let's shift it over here. To Judd's point, if we're setting up, appointment setters at whatever, $2,000 a month, maybe the first month or two should be on the education of how to run an appointment setting program. And then we spend the 2,000, because it's going to be 3 months versus 1 year. And you still ask the question, well, my appointment centers aren't getting the results I want because you don't have the roadmap yet. Right. And that's literally like how I break down everything. And I would have kept going to just about that conclusion. Right. And then I would have said, now, great. Go study your numbers. Come back here and ask me about numbers next week, right? And we can uncover this a little bit more. And there is a free outlet for you to get some of that coaching, right? And I enjoy those type of things, especially in this setting, because I'm sure you're not the only person going through it. And I did see Michael Winley raise his hand too, right? Like, he's the prime example, bro. 100%. Michael Winley is the prime example of that. Like, that's for him to share his story if he wants to. But I remember the day at the event and how things were coming out of there, right? The double shifts at I think UPS or FedEx, I can't remember which one, UPS, I think, right? Double shifts, overtime, the, financing the stuff, going, man, I got to go out on the limb and do it, man. So like, again, it wasn't me being abrasive, and I don't want to come off that way. It's just like, I have that mind to do that, and I would have got to that conclusion, but it's easier to frame it for you when we take it bite by bite, right? How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time? Because I think it should be pretty prevalent that like you should really focus on those numbers and P&L first, and then come back and say, I don't have the money for it or whatever.
Growth is hard. Not growing is hard too. The question is, how hard and how much do you really want to grow? Because I find that if you really, really want something, that's one thing. But if you really desire something at a level that's more intense than just a want, you'll make it happen. Raise your hand if you've ever really you've wanted something and it doesn't maybe happen, but you've really desired it. Like, there was nothing, I'm going to get it. Nothing is going to stop me. I'm going to get it. That's it. You ever been there?
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys know that you're going to get it. We're such powerful beings, man. Like, we're really powerful. The energy, the way that we're able to actually believe with conviction in something, if we desire it so badly, it's incredible what we're able to accomplish in our lives, guys and gals. Like, this is really, really, really important for you guys to really believe at that level. Gabriel, I know that you believe, but I don't know that you really, really believe in the bigger numbers yet, because you're scared of the bigger numbers potentially and how to get there. And that's okay, dude. Let's help you do it.
Get on the screen, ask the question, because it's all the same, right? Like, literally, like, I think people get intimidated, they get scared. I do it sometimes when I'm in the rooms, right? So like, and don't ever feel intimidated, scared, or like, again, I'm apologizing because I'm just trying to keep peace and be present. But like, guys at the top don't do that, right? And it's the same at the top level. And what I'm trying to get to is 3 weeks ago, I sat on a call with a billionaire, Bobby Castro. Sat on a call 90 minutes with Bobby Castro. A buddy of mine, Jamie, lives in North Carolina. He runs a $10 million short-term rental, whatever you want to say, property thing. He has 5 of them. And he has a $2.5 million short-term rental resort in North Carolina. And he comes to Bobby and he's like, hey, I'm bleeding profusely. Same thing, just bigger numbers, right? And this is what I'm getting at. Billionaire giving a guy that has, 8 figures in real estate advice. He's like, I'm bleeding profusely. He was like, I don't know what to do. Kind of similar, right? Hey, I'm trying to grow. I don't know what to do. I've grown so much. My cash is going out quicker than it's coming in. And he was like, I think I'm going to file bankruptcy. And he was like, broke down the numbers just like I was doing with you. And he's breaking them down. And he was like, I don't understand why you're framing it this way. You're not acting like you're going to file bankruptcy, right? It was the inaction of like everything, your world, you're going to lose it all if you don't take the action of finding out these numbers and really cleaning this up now, right? So bigger numbers, same conversation, just at a little bit of a larger scale, right? So like, don't feel alone. Don't feel intimidated in the middle of it, when it's 10 million, and don't feel intimidated when it's in the beginning and you're saying, hey, I need advice, I need help, because it happens at all levels and growth is painful at all levels. So I'm sure someone at $1 million could even relate to this thing, because I still know guys that run businesses that ask the same questions at $1 million, right? I probably asked some of those questions at $1 million. I can tell you at 500 or 750 for sure. I'm asking the same questions you were, going, dude, I'm spending so much money. What's next? I can't get enough. Like it's this, it's that. And it was the same, like exactly like you're saying, that hamster wheel type feeling in the midst of it.
I remember when you sent me your P&L.
Yeah. I don't know what it was at that point, but yeah, I definitely sent it to you at some point.
That was going back to when you just left Dundas, Ontario. And
yeah, so probably like 900.
Everybody, I remember in the room, I was like, what's everybody's revenue goal? And everybody raised their hand and everybody was saying 500 million. Then Skylar jumps up out of the seat with both hands in the air and says, 5 million. And I'm like, well, by when? Like, fucking soon. You're not far, bud. You're not far.
I was asking those questions at 900,000, 100%. Like that was like probably my year between 750 to 900. And I was asking a lot of those same questions, right? Like
Incredible.
the cash was going in and I was literally asking the same thing. Like I felt like day one till $1 million-ish, right? Like until I started framing things a little bit different, until I started shifting things. And I think like, again, it's not that, it's not even me, it's somebody. If it's not even a coach on this table, right? Like it's just so quickly. I shared it maybe a month or two ago when I was down in North Carolina, right? Where like just a conversation with someone, right? One 30-minute phone call, I saved him $7,000. He had ordered material that was significantly more expensive. He also got the project done by me then. But again, right? Like he invested, he spent some money and was like, hey, help me execute this project. And I was like, all right, great. If I'm going to do it, I need to run point on this. Give me the dirty details, just like I was just asking you. Send me the material numbers. What's the time frame? What's the phases? Show me the thing. But first thing I look at, I'm like, bro, what? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, nah, cancel that. He was like, I already swiped it on my card. I was like, call him back and tell him not to drop the delivery. We're getting it somewhere else. And he was like, all right, cancel the order.
That's a $500,000 company, by the way, that he's speaking about right now.
Yeah. Saved them $7,000 in one phone call. They'll do $750,000 this year. And again, 7,000 in that phone call. And don't forget, that doesn't just like disappear. Typically those things carry over, right? So it's like, it could have took him a year or two. It took me 3.5 years to figure that out, what I shared to him in 5-10 minutes.
Get it, Gabriel. Go.
I'm here.
How bad do you want it, Gabriel? Out of 10.
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, the connection cut. Say it again.
I said, how bad do you want this out of 10? Honestly, like how bad do you want to grow this thing, man? Like, is that a 10 out of 10, or like, where are you on the scale of 1 to 10, honestly?
At least $1 million out of 10, man. That's I'm pissed off.
Let's go. It's not too late to make the balance of your season work, man. You gotta get moving right now. It's crunch time. And regardless, even if it was November, I'd be telling you the same thing, by the way. Even if it was December, I'd be telling you the same thing. You know, how old are you, Gabriel?
20,
How old?
20.
You're 20 years old. You know how much more rich you are than me, bro? You are so freaking rich, dude. Do you want to know why you're so rich, bro? Because you have so much time ahead of so much time ahead of you in your life. I'm 46, right? There's other people on here who are probably just around my age as well. But the point is that you have so much time on your side. Right now is the time to do it. Who here is, above 40? Raise your hand if you think that at 20 years old you can risk so much more and just go for it because of the time on your side. Raise your hand, be honest. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Cool. Let's keep jamming. Hopefully you guys got some good value out of that exchange, and there's some good thinking time that you guys can put in there. Very, very important. Skylar, appreciate your energy and your care, man. And I know that, by the way, if there's one person that I love on planet Earth that's more passionate, that's the most passionate person that I've seen about business and actually caring to make the needle move and achieve goals, Skylar Garmin wins that. Like, he wins that trophy globally. We appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, Skylar.
Ruthie, what is up? What's happening? Let's get you on.
Hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Sweet. So, hi everybody. I just want to say, I had a win. I know I missed the section I was supposed to say it in because I was actually finishing the proposal and lost track of time. But it was a small one, big for me because it's the first one. But just lines. It was like maybe I don't know, 10 lines in a no parking and like some crosshatch and an ADA. But it gave me a confidence boost that I needed. I want to say to you guys on here, the whole round table, all the coaches, Judd, Skylar, McCann, you guys are awesome. And without you, without Dash, like I see myself, I know where I need to be at or where I'm going. But without this whole, like the system, not just the round table, the AK Dash, the platform, Mackie is incredible. And it's always evolving. You're always adding something. It's just phenomenal. So thank you for what you do. I'm forever grateful. I do have a question about, I'm supposed to put a proposal out tomorrow to this place. It's a insurance agent's lot. Ironic or crazy enough that their lot looks like garbage. At which point do I know that they probably need a full tear out and repave, but they have potholes and things like that. They have like no spots visible. At which point am I getting in like over my head where it would be like, I want to help them, but I don't want to, because I know these lines are probably going to come back up. I know that this pothole patch is not going to last too much long, for too long, because you need a full tear out and repave. Yeah. So which point do I say that and back away, or am I still able to help them?
Such a good question, by the way. Like, it's such a good question that you have right now.
Thanks.
And it's especially important, again, for the industry as we continue to improve and progress the industry, is operating. There's a word. What's the key word, Matthias, for tonight? What is it? What's our
integrity, baby, integrity.
And so I know I could see Skylar thinking, I'm looking at you too, bud, but like, it's straight up, man. If the right thing to do is to do an installation or to mill it, like if that's the right thing to do, then you gotta kind of draw that line, right? And so it would be dishonest to not communicate properly with that client, because the reality of it is your name, your brand, you're stamping that to a project that may not be a good mirror of what you're looking to build. And I know that's, Scott, why don't you elaborate on this? But like, the reality again is that a lot of people are really just money hungry out there and just going after the quick buck. And I'm not a big believer in the quick buck in a way that's kind of in that scamish mentality. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to anyone. I just think that you should communicate always honestly with your clients. And the way to do that is by educating yourself, because sometimes you don't even know. And that's why asking this question is a very important one. And doing your YouTube research or your Chat GPT research around this is also important for everyone on here. But Scott, why don't you jump in, man, and kind of talk about how you deal with those situations?
So first thing I would do is I would say the way to tell what you need done and what the right option is use the pacer scale. So then it takes that off of you and your sales tactics to a federally backed document that was developed, right? Or should I say federally used document that was developed by the University of Wisconsin. So now you're not selling them, you're just showing them the facts. Again, they're an insurance agency, so I would 100% sell on liability at this, and you're not over your head. So I would 100% say, don't feel like you're over your head, even if it is a full rip out and repave. You just need to find the right partner to do the job for you. And you need to make a cut on that, right? So if you're going to go there and it is a mill and repave, again, like to Judd's point, stand behind your integrity. And if they're asking you to do something that's wrong or unsafe or scamish, draw your line. But I would also say, like, hey, I would 100% be focused on this needs paved. The right way to do this is to pave this. You guys are going to get sued. You understand how costly that lawsuits can be. You're an insurance agency. This is literally what you protect. Do you want to spend the money now, or do you want to go down a multi-million-dollar suit?
Okay.
Find the right performance partner, sell the project anyway. Back to my point earlier, sell the project, figure it out. Again, you're going to have to get the number from the contractor. Don't just throw a number out there because you're in the moment and everything's coming up to it. Say, great, this is going to need to be repaid. Find the contractor, and you can still paint the lines on it.
Or the other option too, Ruthie, like if you're not well versed in the performance partner portion of this or subcontractor, we like to say performance partner because it's just a little bit more respectful on the way the relationship should be. It should be a partnership. And so I just would say this, that if you start building some relationships with some paving companies that are out there and you go and meet with them and you show up, you shake their hand, you sit down with them and have a conversation and let them know that you're doing, striping and asphalt maintenance and repairs. And you do have clients that ask or may need paving project opportunities. And if you bring a lead to them to close, that you would love to be paid a commission on the deal if it closes, right? And building that relationship out of the gate would eliminate you from having to go provide pricing and having to manage the project and those kind of things at early stages as you're building. Just get paid more as a lead connection and a commission, and then learn the process, learn how it works, see the way that they're operating, be there when they're paving it, and start learning how to do that. The goal here is not to, you're not going to be a $5 million company tomorrow. You're not going to be, you know what I mean? And it's one step at a time learning, and be patient with yourselves. Be patient with yourselves and just know that as long as you're putting one step in front of the other, that's what really matters. So when you talk about your striping job, that's a win. Like that's an awesome win, man. Like you're going to look back on that in years to come and remember that striping job as being like the first project that you're really nailing, and that's going to give you more conviction. And then you're going to put out more proposals and you're going to win more. And then you're going to have pictures of the job. So you're going to start selling more striping jobs, put that on your social, and there's just the snowball effect. So congratulations. I'm super stoked for you.
Thank you. Thanks, y'all.
Cool. Any other questions? Actually, before we jump into a question, I know Gabriel has a bunch more questions for sure. I'm kidding. I'm just having fun. I know you're thinking a lot right now. It's a lot to process, but be patient with yourself too, but not too patient. You've got to move. Dylan Malone, what is happening, man? I know you were in the car. How was your day today? You helping anybody? What do you want to share? What can we do? What can you share? What can you do? Let us know.
Yeah, it's a good day. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Mike Thompson, you mind if I have you chime in for a sec? Not to put you on the spot, but I know that you have been a recent adopter of AK Dash. So do you have any feedback, any perspective, any recommendations for anybody here who might not have checked out the platform as of yet?
No, I think AK Dash is a really good program as far as putting out proposals and assessments and whatnot. It organizes all your projects, puts it to the win column. It's a very good program, and I like using it. The assessment thing, to me, I can't get past the gatekeepers. I haven't quite figured that out, so I've been kind of just focusing my work towards residential right now, kind of building my residential clientele up. So I have a little bit of capital to move and try to go after these commercial projects. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in my journey here. But yeah, as far as AK Dash that goes, I really like that program. It's a very helpful program.
We appreciate, thank you, Mike, for the feedback. Malone, great question, by the way. I didn't know that. By the way, we didn't pay Mike any money to say that, just so you all know. That came out of the goodness of his heart. But Mike, when you say you're having a challenge with the gatekeeper, getting past the gatekeeper, have you used any of the sales tactics that we taught in the sales power stack? Did you get access to the sales power stack video training that we have?
I'm not exactly sure. I think I need to go back through my Google. I've just been studying. I'm busy trying to get jobs and procuring and putting out bids. I might have started moving too quick. You know
There's
what I
like
mean?
there's like 5 parts to it, 5 hours. Michael Winley, you went through it, so you know it well. A few other people went through it, but Malone, if you can share with Mike, if you can share that sales power stack training, that'd be really cool. Hopefully it will help. I know Gabe, you went through it as well. Yeah, so feel free to go through that, Mike. It's going to take about 5 hours to go through, but you can do it in tranches. But I think that will really help you in how you're going to approach and get these assessments into people's hands and strategically.
Yeah, I'll look at my emails, check there and see if it's in there.
Malone will resend it. We'll send the sales power stack for the vault. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, cool. Michael Windley, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just want to encourage anybody that's listening to the coaching, and that don't mean listen to it one time. If you want to master the craft, you need to listen to it when you're not doing something, or if you find yourself just listening to the radio all the time, play one or two of them instead and listen to it. And when you get in that situation, you'll know the answers to it. Just like on this, man, a year and a half ago, a year ago, I used to hear stuff on here and I'd be like, man, what are they talking about? And now today it seems like I know what y'all are talking about. You know why? Because I do. I'm learning. I'm getting trained. I'm getting coached. I'm starting to understand it. Now in the beginning, it was tough. A lot of it didn't make sense. But you know what? I trust the process. I've met a lot of these guys on here in person, and what they tell us is the real thing. And I've seen it happening in other people's lives. So trust the process.
This may warrant an AK roundup somewhere close to Michael Winley, right?
Yes, that's right. I'll
Scott,
see
what
you
do you
there.
say, man?
Where
What's
you
he
at? Mike, where you at again?
Mississippi.
Oh,
Texas.
you know, you better get me some good gumbo when I come down there, boy.
Come on down.
100%. Round up for some gumbo.
That's right.
There's probably an AK roundup on the horizon. You guys interested in potentially doing a live AK roundup event? Anybody interested in that? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be a lot of fun. Skylar, I don't know that I'm going to be coming back up to Anvil on the same month anyway. We'll make sure that it's March 2033.
You want to stay? Dude, the spooky house got sold, so you don't have to stay in the spooky house.
That's all good. But that was a blast. We had a really, really great time. That roundup event was phenomenal. I'll remember it for the rest of my life for sure. And Scott and I got to experience some pretty cool things on that trip. Gabriel, what is up? This is the last question for the night.
I'll be always the last one. Judd, I sent you a message by WhatsApp, but also for the sales power stack, if you could send that to me as well, because we did one of the trainings, but it wasn't the 5-hour one.
Yeah, you did the 90-minute one. Are you on Dash, Gabriel?
Yeah, of course.
So, Dylan Malone, can you just take down this note to share it with Gabriel as well?
Yep.
Gabriel's email address is there. Just make sure he has Vault.
Yeah, I got Mike and Gabriel so far. If anybody else wants access, I just dropped my booking link in the chat there. So go ahead and grab some time with me tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, Malone will he'll give you access to all kinds of good stuff, guys. That is really helpful. Take advantage of it. Take advantage. Cool. Well, I am glad that we got some really fun conversations going here. I hope that everybody got some great, have some great takeaways, some golden nuggets. Raise your thumb up if you got some takeaways here tonight. Short hour, Yeah. Awesome. Claudia, thanks for giving the thumbs up. We appreciate that. Welcome. Cool, guys. Well, listen, if there's anything at all that you need from us, just know that we're here for you, the whole team. Don't hesitate. The only silly questions, the one unasked, guys. It's so much easier to not feel like you're alone in the fog or in the woods trying to navigate things. It's better to know you have a circle that actually cares about you, and we genuinely care about you guys. It's the culture that we have here at the company. And it wouldn't be the same without each and every one of you and your feedback and all of that. So we appreciate you. We're grateful to have you as part of the community. Mr. Matthias, thank you for co-hosting tonight. Thank you, Mr. Malone. I appreciate you very much. Skylar, thanks for the time. Always awesome. Thank you for paying it forward, brother. And to everyone on here, thank you. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, right here on the AK Roundtable. Have a good night.
Thanks, Judd. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks,
job.
guys. See ya.
See you guys.